What's up guys, the Cinematic Controller here, and today we're back with another video and another DC discussion about the James Gunn DC Universe. This time talking about Nightwing and what they need to do to make Nightwing be good in the DC Universe. The first thing is they need to establish Dick's history outside of working with the Batman. And show that he's actually fought criminals and that he actually has a history of his own and that he's his own man outside of Bruce's shadow. Secondly, I want to see the different costumes that Dick has worn over the many years of crime fighting. Someone like Dick Grayson would go through different costumes over the years. I personally would like to see the blue and yellow costume from the 80s, even if we only see a picture of it or something like that. It'd be cool to see that costume and have a nod to what that costume would look like. Side note, I personally hope that the costume design they go for is almost identical to the animated series Nightwing costume, because I like that design, and I just don't want Dick to have an super armored costume, considering he's an acrobat, which means that he's supposed to be agile and able to move and jump and everything. You can't really do that if you are having to deal with armor. Another important thing for Nightwing is his relationship with other characters in the universe, especially his relationship with the Bat Family and the Teen Titans. With the Bat Family, I definitely want to see what his relationship with Bruce is, especially him stepping from Bruce's shadow and being his own man instead of just fighting, doing everything Bruce's way. With Jason's like a little brother to Dick, so I would definitely like to see how their relationship is after Under the Red Hood. Assuming we get some Under the Red Hood, flashback or something. I'd like to see what his relationship with Jason is. With Tim, Dick typically respects Tim as his own man, so I definitely want to see how their relationship between Dick and Tim is. For Damian Wayne, the recent DC animated movie universe has made them have a relationship of brothers, and I don't mind this. I just personally don't like Damian, so I really kind of hope they don't lean for this, but if they do, maybe they do so through a Batman and Robin story where everyone thinks Bruce is dead and Dick takes over the mantle of the Batman. With the Titans, I want to see what his relationship with Wally West is. Considering Wally is one of Dick's best friends and probably the best friend throughout his entire life, I want to see what their relationship looks like for Dick and Wally. Especially because they're two of the best legacy characters in the entirety of the DC universe, in my personal opinion. So I definitely want to see what it looks like. And now we're into the subject of his relationship with his love interest. So there's Barbara Gordon, and then there's Starfire. I personally would love to see Dick with Barbara Gordon in this universe, but I definitely think that he's going to end up with Starfire due to just the popularity of Dick and Starfire in recent media. I genuinely don't see us getting to see Dick with Barbara, which is kind of a shame, but I definitely want to see how they handle the awkwardness between Dick and Barbara. If what they do is that they have a past where they dated, then they broke up, and then he got with Starfire. I'd like to see what that looks like, that dynamic between the three of them. That'd definitely be something interesting to see. The last major thing I want to talk about is the villain for whatever Nightwing project we get, whether it is a movie, TV show, anything like that. Deathstroke is a good choice, but I personally feel he should be saved for a Titans or Teen Titans project, maybe a live-action Teen Titans Judas contract film will be pretty cool. So there are three good options, two of which are kind of interchangeable because they fill the same void in Dick's life in the comics, sort of. So the first two are Blockbuster or Black Mask. Now, Black Mask is a Batman villain, but he also in the comics was a very influential character in Dick's life, showing him how corrupt Bloodhaven really was before he got there. Because Bloodhaven is very much like what Gotham was before Bruce donned the cape and cowl. So Black Mask is a good choice, but Blockbuster almost works a little bit better in my opinion, because Blockbuster is Dick's version of Black Mask. And it's kind of nice to see that whole dynamic between Dick and Blockbuster. The last choice is mainly, like, evidently, like, stating that he's had history with Professor Pig. Basically, if him and Batman ever fought him, because Professor Pig is a Batman villain. So it's definitely an important thing to see if they go with the route of Dick having fought with the Batman against Professor Pig. And the last option is Deathwing. Deathwing is a Daltron which is brainwashed into thinking it's Nightwing. And then it goes on a rampage, taking people out and everything. And Dick has to fight it. And what I think could potentially be the route they go is they decide to go the route of that it ruins Nightwing's reputation to the point that Nightwing has to fake his death and become an agent, a spy, like he does in the comics in the New 52. I kind of hope they don't go for this, but I have a feeling this is the route they're going to go with. And knowing the way DC editorial can be sometimes, I definitely hope that's not the way they go. But, like I said, Deathwing would be a pretty good choice, but I think that could be better saved for like a second Nightwing movie or something like that. Or maybe if they're doing seasons, like a TV show, a second season. I personally feel like Blockbuster is the best first like project pick for Nightwing. And that is everything I have to say. That's my personal opinion. If y'all have any like comments or concerns or anything that you feel could make this conversation more interesting, please put them in the comment section down below. And are y'all excited to see Nightwing in the DC Universe? Actually, on that side note, real quick before I forget, I'm also kind of curious how they're going to do with Nightwing's name. So Nightwing's name in the comics, he gets inspired from Superman. With Superman being in his 30s in 2025, it's going to be pretty difficult because that will have implied that Superman has worked with Batman before to know who Dick Grayson is. And I don't see us getting to have that opportunity. So I wonder how he's going to get the inspiration for the name Nightwing. With that, I hope y'all enjoy. See y'all in the next video. Peace out, squad.